5 components, 1 flow. This is how Enterprise Managed Authorization actually moves a request from your browser through your identity provider to an MCP server and locks out anyone who shouldn't be there. In the next 5 minutes, I'll walk you through every arrow in this diagram, step by step, and show you exactly why it fixes a problem most MCP deployments don't even know they have.
Every MCP server your company connects needs its own authorization. Multiply that by every employee, and you get this. That's not a security model. That's a security incident waiting to happen. The Model Context Protocol just shipped an official fix, and almost nobody's covered it yet. Let's break down exactly how it works. Here's the default MCP authorization model. Each user individually authorizes each MCP server they connect to. Fine for a consumer app. You want control over your own data. Terrible for a company. Security teams can't enforce consistent policy when 1,000 employees are each making their own access decisions. Onboarding means manually authorizing dozens of tools per new hire. Offboarding means revoking access, service by service, person by person, and hoping you didn't miss one.
Enterprise Managed Authorization introduces one authoritative decision maker, your existing identity provider. Okta, Azure AD, whatever your company already runs for email and Slack. The IDP becomes the single point that decides which MCP servers an employee can reach and under what conditions. One login, one policy engine, one place to revoke. Here's the actual flow. Step 1. The MCP client redirects the user's browser to the Enterprise IDP. Step 2. The user logs in with their normal corporate credentials. Nothing new to learn. Step 3. The IDP sends back an authorization code, which the client exchanges for an ID token. At this point, the user is authenticated to the MCP client. Nothing has touched an MCP server yet. Now the interesting part. The client takes that ID token back to the IDP and asks for something new, an ID-JAG, an Identity Assertion JWT authorization grant. The IDP evaluates policy right here. Is this user allowed to access this specific MCP server? Group membership, role, conditional access rules, all checked before a single token is issued. If they're not authorized, they simply never receive a valid ID-JAG. No error dialog on the server side, no leaked information. The door just isn't there. With a valid ID-JAG in hand, the client exchanges it with the MCP server's own authorization server for an actual access token. That authorization server validates the ID-JAG signature against the IDP's public keys, checks audience and expiration, and only then issues the MCP access token. From here, it's standard MCP. Client calls the resource server with that token, gets data back, loop as needed. 3 things this actually buys you. Centralized revocation. Fire an employee, disable them at the IDP, and every MCP server they had access to is cut off instantly. No chasing down individual service admins. Auditable trail. Every access decision runs through the IDP's existing logging, which compliance teams already trust. And 0 new credentials. Employees never see a separate MCP login. It's the same SSO they already use for everything else. To be fair, this isn't automatic. Support varies by client, and it's opt-in. Nothing in MCP silently starts doing this. MCP clients need to explicitly declare support in their initialize request, and your organization's IT team still has to configure the IDP side. This is infrastructure you adopt, not a patch that ships itself. If you're deploying MCP inside a company, not a side project, an actual org with a security team, this is the spec to watch. It's brand new. The client support matrix is still filling in, and that means right now is exactly the moment to understand the architecture before it becomes the default everyone assumes you already know. Next up, context lakes, the layer that gives your agents organizational knowledge MCP tools alone can't provide. Subscribe so you don't miss it. Questions on the ID-JAG flow? Drop them below.